We provided a plan to help you change your life and the world. Anyone who would follow it would heal and pass it on to others who come later. It will only work if more of you believe we have done that. And today, we will begin with our messenger. While he has demonstrated the effects, he, like the rest of you, had to come to believe. Today, he will, and we hope many more of you will. We began this cycle in 2008, and as you read the progression to today, more of you will understand your importance in the restructuring of yourselves and the world. (2008) The Power of Gratitude. June 4th, 2008. You have heretofore underestimated the power of being in a state of gratitude, and you have used it selectively. When you are in a state of gratitude, you are affirming to the universe that your life experience is exactly as it should be. You avail yourself to the information and the experience that you desired to have to take you someplace. You are always going someplace when you don't resist what that is. Release your judgment from your very experiences, and the joy you will experience from all those experiences will allow you the expansion you desired. This also allows you to always be in your moment of now, and thereby have the full consciousness to create the very future you desire. Reflection questions. What experiences in your life have you been judging rather than approaching with gratitude? How might viewing your challenges as necessary steps in your journey change your relationship with them? (2009) Trusting the Flow. June 4th, 2009. All that you need to know is always available and comes to you easily, while all that you want to know may become a struggle for you. You intended to have a life experience where you allowed your expansion, and in this manner you let go of any fear or resistance to what is ahead for you. When you think there are those things that you want to know, you may very easily set up a sort of struggle, and in that very effort, block, as it were, the ease of your entire experience as you intended. Again, this will simply bring you back to the very wise premise of going with the flow. You intended to trust completely the integrity of your life, and also know that the universe would always lead you to your highest good when you do not fear or resist any of it. Relax and enjoy the journey. Reflection questions. Where in your life are you forcing outcomes rather than allowing them to unfold naturally? What would change if you truly trusted that life is guiding you toward your highest good? (2010) Try less, allow more. June 4th, 2010. Try less, allow more, and embrace everything. This is precisely how you desired to live your life experience, for you knew that in this manner you would have much more fun, expand what you knew, and gain the wisdom you intended. In this way, you let go of the resistance you hold to what shows up for you, and utilize and develop the trust and faith that is always available. Even in merely reading that first statement, you feel the lessening of the stress you unknowingly carry and look forward to what is ahead. There are no bad things to come, merely experiences that you intended for your own progression. All you ever need do is glance at your past, remember the fear you held about certain situations and events, and recognize now all that you gained. Reflection questions. What situations from your past that once caused fear have now become sources of wisdom and growth? How can you practice trying less and allowing more in your current circumstances? 2011, The Mirror of Others, June 4th, 2011. It is only ever your very own opinion about yourself that matters in terms of how you experience your personal reality. While you may think that the opinions of others will cause you to have certain experiences or feelings, it is essentially your opinion about their opinions that you feel on any level. It is as if others serve as a mirror for the opinions you hold about yourself, and they are constantly reflected back to you. In order that you might then have a different experience in your personal reality, it is always that you need first seek to know the opinions you hold about yourself. Any opinion that is not pleasurable for you, you also have the ability to change. Reflection questions. What patterns do you notice in how others treat you, and what might this reveal about your own self-perception? Which self-opinions are you ready to transform to create a more positive reality? (2012) The Gift of Flexibility, June 4th, 2012. Flexibility is admirable and also indicates your willingness to trust the integrity of your physical life experience. Inflexibility, on the other hand, is a sign that you believe you already know it all, and are unwilling to expand or accept new information and wisdom. Your goal is always to gain new experiences, for they bring you more awareness. You are always making choices as to whether or not it is more important for you to be right in your own thinking, or more important to continually evolve. Conflicts with others are born in inflexibility, while cooperation brings a momentum or forward progression, meaning expansion. Reflection questions. In what areas of your life are you prioritizing being right over being open to growth? How might greater flexibility in your beliefs and approaches open new possibilities for you? (2013) Becoming Defenseless, June 4th, 2013. Your ultimate goal in this lifetime is to become defenseless. This is another way of looking at expansion, evolving, or becoming an actualized being. An actualized being has come to know that there is no aspect of their being, including their past, their actions, their conditions, or any occurrences that require any defense, because they were all an integral and important part of their journey to being actualized, or fully enlightened, as you may think of it. The key for you now is that when you begin to notice yourself defending something, or anything at all about you, it is an indication of your own lack of self-acceptance, and you have yet to arrive at the wisdom you seek to know the perfection of you and your physical life journey. Reflection questions. What aspects of yourself or your past do you find yourself defending most often? How would your life change if you could accept every part of your journey as perfect for your growth? (2014) Embracing Fear for Growth, June 4th, 2014. Everything and anything that you do throughout your physical life experience that will cause you to expand or become more will also mean that you need to become willing to move beyond, overcome, or move through some fear. When you accept this as part of the process and are consciously aware of what you are up to, you will begin to use the fear to your advantage. In other words, you will see the goal in front of you, understand what you need to do, know that some level of fear will arise, and then decide to embrace it because your goal of expansion is more important than staying where you are. In some instances, you may even ask for the fear to appear so you can tackle it head-on because you know the benefit it will bring. Approaching it in this manner will also begin to be fun for you. Reflection questions. What fears are currently holding you back from pursuing your goals or dreams? How might you reframe fear as a signal that you're about to grow rather than something to avoid? (2015) Taking responsibility. June 4th, 2015. You always come to a place in your physical life experience where you recognize that it was you all along. It was you who thought that you were not talented, capable, or able. It was you who thought you were unlovable. It was you who thought you were guilty. The list could go on, but the point is for you to recognize that it was you who created this reality for yourself. Now, because you did create it, you would then attract others into your life who would merely reflect back to you what you had thought. Now, the beauty of this is because it was you all along who thought those things. It can be you now to change those things, and thus your own personal reality. Much forgiveness is needed now to accomplish this. Reflection. Questions. What limiting beliefs about yourself are you ready to acknowledge and release? How can you practice forgiveness toward yourself for the ways you've held yourself back? (2016) Understanding Your Waiting. June 4th, 2016. Throughout your life, you will experience what can be thought of as different stages of waiting. Now, these stages are different because they depend on your reasons for waiting and your mental state or thoughts you hold while you are in that process of waiting. At times, you are waiting because you have enough awareness and wisdom to know that you need to gather your plan, intention, and become aware of your desired outcome before you begin. There you are exercising wisdom. Then there are other stages where you are waiting because you are allowing fear, doubt, and insecurity to control your actions. Those differences between the stages are quite instructive, and when you pay attention to your thoughts and actions during those stages of waiting, you will know precisely what you are up to, and then can continue it or change it. Reflection questions. When you find yourself waiting or procrastinating, what is usually the underlying reason? How can you distinguish between wise preparation and fear-based delay in your decision-making? (2017) Making It Fun. June 4th, 2017. It can also be fun. That is a thought you can choose to hold, and a decision you can decide to make before you do anything in your life. That decision, if you make it, will cause anything you do to become easier and, in that sense, fun. This even applies to those things that you might find laborious, tedious, or difficult. You know those things are necessary for you to do so that you might accomplish whatever you are up to achieving. So making that decision first will help you to charge ahead. You actually did this last week, and the importance of what you did escaped your awareness. You had to do something that was labor-intensive but also needed, so you kept the ultimate goal in mind, decided to make it fun, and it was that. Now do that with everything. This is how you wanted to experience your life. Reflection questions. What tasks or responsibilities in your life could be transformed by deciding to approach them with a sense of fun? How might focusing on your ultimate goals help you find joy in necessary but challenging work? (2018) Owning Your Story. June 4th, 2018. Please do not attempt to censor your story as you relate it to others, for it will carry a much greater impact. More than 3 decades ago, you wrote a song entitled "Better Than Me." You had no idea at the time how prolific those lyrics would be, not only in your life, but that of others. Then yesterday we had to trick you, so to speak, so you might fully embody the meaning of the song. You were called to meet with another, what seemed to you to be out of the blue. Then during the conversation, you found yourself attempting to justify yourself, your life, and your choices. But then you also recognized that you no longer needed to do that, but it stood out to you because it was not your normal behavior. Now the song makes sense. No one knows your life better than you, and you not believing that has always been your biggest challenge. What great progress. Reflection questions. In what ways do you edit or diminish your story when sharing it with others? How might fully owning and sharing your authentic experiences serve both you and others? (2019) Overcoming the Fear of Judgment, June 4th, 2019. This message may be momentarily uncomfortable for you, but it will help many others as well as serve your intention in this life. Last week you saw an announcement for a documentary that was to be released discussing the possibilities of the existence of beings beyond Earth. The program was to include pilots describing what they had seen, how it had frightened them, and in most cases withheld these sightings for decades. But now they feel almost compelled to disseminate this information. We had you see all that so you might wake up. Yes, we are making this message more personal to you, as we also want you to forget how others might receive this information. That is what the pilots did. They feared what others might think. The awareness of this was demonstrated in your life last night. You were listening to another give a presentation on material that you know all too well, but had not permitted yourself to deliver the information yourself. You, as the pilots, did not trust there was more for you to have, experience, and be. Reflection questions. What knowledge, gifts, or experiences do you possess that you've been hesitant to share due to fear of judgment? How might your withholding of your truth be depriving both you and others of important growth opportunities? (2020) Choosing Love Over Fear, June 4th, 2020. Things may get worse, but they always get better. We used subjective words here, and each of you will find your own interpretation, as you do with everything. At this moment, you might examine your world and believe everything is getting worse in your personal and global experience. Or you may look at the world and believe things are getting better. We have only one opinion which we will offer, and you each will make your own choice again, as you always do. But during these current times, your choice will be more consequential. To explain what we mean, we will leave you with a message we delivered years ago, July 20th, 2014. At times, you may seem to have many different choices to make when presented with any situation, circumstance, or event in your life. But the fact is, you only have 2 choices, and those are love or fear. This is not referring to any relationship outside of yourself. It is merely referring to the choices you make regarding you. You choose love when you decide to be who you are precisely, and you choose fear when you attempt to hide or discount who you are. You would do well to revisit the book Love is Letting Go of Fear, to remind yourself of what you discovered many years ago, but at times ignore or attempt not to notice. When confronted with any conflict, either in your personal experience or what you observe in your world, you still only have those two choices. Reflection questions. In your current challenges, how can you identify whether you're choosing from love or fear? What would change in your life if you consistently chose to be authentically yourself, rather than hiding aspects of who you are? (2021) Recognizing Life's Perfection. June 4th, 2021. The perfection of your life is beginning to unfold now. That statement is true for every person, but it is especially true for those of you who read our words. We also want to thank the new subscribers here and the YouTube channel. We point that out to further inform this message, and it encourages Roger. We have said you are moving through a massive restructuring that you wanted to experience so that you might move through your human limitations. We have communicated with Roger for decades, but now he is more willing to believe us. For we keep taking him through his history, and with the tool of hindsight, he can see the perfection of his life, which has set him on a mission to help others accept themselves and usher in your new world, for that is what you are achieving. Often, Roger does not remember our messages, which are typically beyond his current state of awareness, as it is for you. This morning, we had him do what we call an experiment, for he, as you might have done, continually doubt why you are on the earth. While listening to another video today, Roger heard the words, "Start here." We then told Roger to find our message and post it here without reading it first, for it will further bolster belief in him and you. You will be fine. January 19th, 2016. The simplicity as well as the effectiveness of this message might surprise you. The message is, start here. Those two words, when used together, can serve as a mantra you use, an admonition you give yourself, as well as a gentle reminder to decide to live in your moment of now consciously. When you say start here, you are deciding to let go of anything that has occurred in the past, and the judgment you have placed on yourself for whatever you think you have not done that you should have. It is a reminder that the only manner in which you can change anything from the past is by what you decide to do in your now. It also helps you to stop attempting to project your future, but pay attention to your now. Attempt to remember those two words throughout your day, continually. Reflection questions. June 4th, 2022. You must change first. We are stating it in this manner as we would like you to remember you are on an evolutionary journey, and you chose to take your journey during a restructuring of your world. This message is a bit long and the most important one you will receive if you accept, but it is uncomfortable for Roger. You are here because you wanted to change and evolve immensely, and the challenges of this time are facilitating that change, and it is uncomfortable for you and what you wanted. Those words might not make sense to you now, but they will soon, and that is when you must remember you are doing this for yourself and your world. You have a generational struggle and your personal one. When you begin to understand how to align the two, you will better understand your purpose in this lifetime. We know that some of this might not be apparent, but that is the point of this message. You will move through things you have not experienced, and Roger knows this but has not allowed himself to change, which holds back his intended goal in this lifetime. You each have patterns of behavior that you have desired to shed, as those behaviors hold back your evolution and that of your world. Roger has known of his ability to receive and translate information, but could not understand how he had done so and could not fully embrace his power and role. His desire to help others was also his resistance to being of help to himself. It has been a lifelong pattern, and his individual restructuring will include changing that behavior, so he might help himself as you are meant to do the same. Roger spent his entire day yesterday attempting to have more of you enroll in our program, while knowing that many of you would not hear us. And then he could stay small, as some of you have done. Roger has used money to hold himself back in very clever ways. First, by not owning his worth and charging enough, and then attempting to take care of others before himself, serving no one, especially himself. He was advised more than 2 years ago to stop trading his time for money. But he didn't want to change, and many of you have not wanted to. But this next period in your life and world will require you to do so. But please remember, it is also what you wanted. Reflection questions. What behavioral patterns are you holding on to that may be limiting both your personal growth and your ability to contribute to positive change in the world? How might your resistance to fully valuing and expressing your gifts be connected to broader patterns of self-limitation? (2023) Continuous Expansion. June 4th, 2023. You are expanding and ascending continuously. That means you are doing that, as is your planet and everyone who exists in physical form at this time of transition. The next and most helpful part of your journey will be understood as you study our message on this date in 2012. When you resist change within yourself, there is no possibility for you or your world to become more or better, which is a term you will interpret in your way. We will continue this conversation in our live conversation with you today, as everything is connected to this restructuring. But you will gain more clarity today. Reflection questions. How can you recognize and celebrate the continuous expansion happening in your life, even when progress feels slow? Where are you still resisting change? And how might this resistance be affecting your growth and contribution to collective transformation? (2024) Manifesting Brilliance. June 4th, 2024. Today will make more sense. It will happen when you read our message a year ago on this date and examine your life and world. You are here to manifest brilliance, but you do so a bit at a time. We have never left you. Whatever you may be experiencing in your life or world is for the greatest good of all, especially you. Reflection questions. How has your understanding of your purpose and capabilities evolved over the past year? In what ways are you already manifesting brilliance, even if it doesn't always feel significant to you? As you review this journey from 2008 to 2025, consider how each message builds upon the previous ones, creating a comprehensive framework for personal transformation and spiritual evolution. The themes of gratitude, trust, flexibility, fearlessness, self-responsibility, authenticity, and love weave together to form a path toward what Wilhelm calls becoming actualized. Overarching questions. Which of these messages resonates most strongly with where you are in your current journey? How do you see your personal transformation contributing to the larger restructuring Wilhelm speaks of? What would it mean for you to fully trust the perfection of your life's journey while remaining open to continuous growth and change?